Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Let's get to the photo album and the time that we have left for the weekend here. RP Show photo album presented by Great Western Brewing. Extra smooth, extra refreshing. Find Original 16 at a store near you today. So there you go. Oh, that's me. Okay. So they wanted the weekend photos. That was from yesterday. And that was a nice sight at the Tirana Airport heading back to South Florida. That's all I had. That's all I could give. Now, this is you, Moose? Explain.
Yeah, this is game day morning, Hardy Cup in Saskatoon on the weekend. Beautiful. Saskatoon, that stadium is awesome for university football. And then the game. So we'll get the game shot up here. This was in the middle of the game, got this shot in. Great crowd. The weather was actually pretty good. It was sunny. Wind picked up later in the game as it got a little cooler, but just an awesome place for university football in this country. There's our crew. That's the people behind the scenes. You can see Dan Plaster. You'll see that second from the right with me and Justin Dunk and Dave Roberts and Chantel Shand and Dave Thomas and Doug McLean and Rusty and Todd and everybody else. And then this is from the Delta this morning. This is the view from the hotel. We're right downtown by the river. So big thanks to the Delta Marriott downtown Saskatoon for hosting us and helping us provide this great coverage from Saskatoon. And you got to blow that one up, I think, or zoom it out, because that's the original 16 founders. We got to get them all in there. There you go. There's the shot. That's right here in the brewery. That's up on the wall. They're really proud of those guys and girls. So I think that's the last shot. So that's my weekend.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Breaking news today. I do have the cowbell with me. The board of directors of the Edmonton Elks football team has terminated the contracts of president and CEO Chris Presson, general manager Brock Sunderland, and head coach Jamie Elizondo effective immediately. The Edmonton Elks cleaning house on this Monday morning, firing the president, the general manager, and the head coach.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Good morning, Canada and Canadian sports fans around the world. You are looking live inside the Great Western Brewery in beautiful Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, as Great Western's Original 16 brings you our coverage of the Tim Hortons curling trials along with Core Grain. And you're going to see, now that's not where I am. That's where the Moose is. And it's funny because I'm feeling so extra Canadian today. Even though I continue to broadcast from South Florida, we've got some big-time Canadian sports topics to get to, and why not bring in the Moose right now? Darren DuPont is live at the Great Western Brewery in Saskatoon. And Darren, how are they treating you there? You're not imbibing this early in the day, I would hope, in Saskatoon, or are you?
Well, every day at 11 o'clock, I'm near the hospitality room. Every day at 11 a.m., in that room about 30 feet from me, they do a tasting every day. And they've made sure to tell me this is not them. They're not drinking here. They're just sampling, tasting, but they do it every single day to make sure that the taste is right, the palate, everything, all the flavors, that the consistency is there. There's like 15 or 16 people that are in there and taste it. So they're not drinking. They're just tasting. Not like you and I would go to a wine tasting or beer tasting and we'd have, this much of each beer. And all of a sudden after 30 minutes, you're feeling it. This is like teaspoons of just for flavor and stuff. But so,
well,
it's
how about that?
Right away.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, glad to have you. And coming up on the program today from the Prince Albert Raiders, a San Jose Sharks prospect, Ozzy Wiesblatt, going to be with us in hour one. He was supposed to be with us last week, but this massive storm that creamed Western Canada derailed the Raiders' travel plans, blah, blah, blah. Ozzy couldn't be with us last week. He will be this week. And coming up in hour two to help preview the big Saskatchewan-Calgary CFL playoff game on Sunday, we have Danny Austin from the Calgary Sun. So that's going to be great. But can we please hit the quick six show horn, Director Gordon, because I can't wait. I can't wait to get into this. I've been on the phone all morning, people saying, I can't wait for your show today. The number one topic here today is, I'll just read the wire copy from yesterday. You all know what it is. The Edmonton Elks have cleaned house after a disappointing CFL season with President and CEO Chris Presson, General Manager Brock Sunderland, and head coach Jamie Elizondo paying the price. The Elks announced it in the news release Monday. Team chairman Ian Murray said the board decided major changes are needed at the senior leadership level to, quote, rebuild the trust and confidence of Elks fans, season ticket holders, and the community, unquote. So here we are about, let's say, 23 hours after that decision yesterday, Darren, and not much is known more other than that Wally Buono is going to help lead the search for those guys' replacements. Talking with a couple of Edmonton sponsors this morning. How about this? They weren't going to renew their sponsorship next year, but now they are. Just to give you a little bit of a taste of what was going on up in Edmonton with regards to this football team. Now, 3downnation.com had a list of 12 potential candidates to be the next general manager of the Edmonton Elks. And I want to get your take on this, Darren, because there were 12 great names. It really made me realize there's a lot of great football men in the CFL or just outside the CFL, because Ed Hervey is one of the names that was mentioned on that list. 3 guys who were not: Eric Tillman, Brendan Taman, and Jim Barker, all 3 of which I've heard in connection to the Ottawa GM job. But you tell me this. Aren't they putting the cart ahead of the horse? Don't they need to hire a president first? And for that, if I was the Edmonton football team, I would be hiring Lee Genier first, the former executive of the year of the National Lacrosse League, president of the Saskatchewan Rush. I think it was 20 years with the Calgary Stampeders in their front office, and also with the Saskatchewan Rattlers of the CEBL, where they won a championship in his first year in charge there. So you got to start with the president and then go from there. And then there are a lot of other things off this. But are you picking up what I'm putting down on that?
Yeah, I am. And I think, I would support that. I like that. The president comes first, I think, because the president wants to have his own GM and the GM wants to have his own coach, and that's kind of the order. But when we're coming up with these lists and we're looking at all these names that are being, put around, I think when it comes to the GM, it's just a more sexier conversation. It's a more exciting conversation because these are football people. We've heard these names before. For the most majority of the public, when we're talking about who might be the president of the football team, we're not going to be very familiar with these names on a national level. So it's not that sexy. You ask our audience, they're not going to have a lot of speculation about who might be the president, right? And I mean, that's on you and me to come up with some names, and you put forward a good one in Lee. He's got a good track record. He wins everywhere he goes. So that's a good thing. Now, the GM search, but that's where you get the sexy name and the football guys that we know. I mean, G. Roy Simon's name was in there. Danny McManus's name was on that list. Chris Jones. So there's a lot of, recognizable names where we can get some really great discussion. But I'm with you. They probably, even though we're having that discussion, got to wait for the president to be named first.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry if it's not sexy names to CFL fans across the country. It's the most important position within the football team. It's going to be their most important hire because that's the guy or gal that sets the direction moving ahead. And that person will decide who the general manager is and probably be in concert with the head coach. But the other thing, talking with Edmonton football people, is, I'll say it again, as I said yesterday, how confident should we be that the right hire is going to be made? I guess that's why they handed it off to Wally. But Hugh Campbell ran that team for 30, 35 years. Before you were around, Darren, for the most part, the board didn't have to do anything because Hugh Campbell had it. And ever since Hugh Campbell got ousted, that team has really been rudderless. So, yeah, I mean, Hugh was everything. He was, you say whatever you want, President G. He was all of those things in one guy. Who's the next Hugh Campbell? I don't think that's Chris Jones. I don't think that's any of the names that we saw, but it needs to start with the president. And the other thing, by the way, somewhat rhetorical question here, but does Eddie Steele get hired back by 6:30 Ched, the official radio voice of the Edmonton Elks, because he got smoked for saying Brock Sunderland is the problem with this whole thing? On Monday, he was proven right. Do they go back and hire Eddie? Or should I have not pointed that out on Twitter moments ago?
No, it's an interesting thought because now you wonder what the board of directors feels about Eddie in the comments, right? And making those comments. At the end of the day, you don't want your radio guy talking about the GM or talking about something in the no matter if he's right or not in that situation. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Eddie should probably have a door open. I would think that. I mean, his place in the history of that football team, and with that as a supporter and an analyst, I think that doesn't go away. And this actually, removes, if there is any tarnish on his legacy, Eddie's, which I don't know that there is, because he had a lot of support, this kind of removes that. He was right all along.
Which a lot of us knew. By the way, live on location at the Great Western Brewery in Saskatoon for Curling Canada's Olympic Trials, presented by Core Grain. And the warm-up is brought to you by Ecol Electric. Come see our sales staff and in-house specialists for all your electrical needs. How about this? Trust me, we are getting to the NFL and the NHL, but first, I got to come to South Florida to feel so Canadian, Darren, because the number 2 point of my Quick Six show topics is Brad Jacobs meets Brad Gushue Tuesday afternoon at a battle of 3-0 rinks at the Canada's Olympic Curling Trials. A women's round-robin draw is scheduled for tonight at SaskTel Center. But Matt Dunstone, I'm reading from wire copy here from the Canadian Press. Matt Dunstone tried to keep his dissatisfaction in check as his winless team toiled through another loss Monday at Canada's Olympic Trials when he walked through a dark curtain near the end boards at SaskTel Center after a 10-3 defeat to Kevin Cooey. The frustration boiled over. Dunstone smacked his broom on the concrete floor so hard that the head flew off. The young skip then took a few questions from reporters, knowing the main theme would be that his 0-3 start left him a long shot to make the playoffs. The partisan crowd announced that 8,217 did its best to cheer on the lone Saskatchewan-based team in the field. You tell me, because you're live in Saskatoon to provide curling coverage of the Tim Hortons Canadian Trials. Is this the biggest story? And I would understand if it is. The team Dunstone, the local team, is 0-3, and their third went mysteriously missing. We still don't know the reason why. Braden Muscovy, the guy that put this super team together, isn't there curling with them.
Yeah, that's a tough one that Braden's not there. That one sucks. And they're missing him, obviously, because they're off to a bit of a slow start here. And there's not a lot of time to get it together. You got to play well right from the get-go. So it'll be interesting. Today's a big day. Tomorrow, to get things back on track for Matt and his group. But yeah, it's a big story here in Saskatchewan, in Saskatoon, because he's the local guy. Obviously, the two guys that are going to play this afternoon, the two Brads that are both 3-0, that's a big story. Brad Gushue is a fan favorite everywhere he goes. And Brad Jacobs, had a kind of a poor showing at the Briar. And this is kind of a bounce back for Brad Jacobs, who's one of the world's best. So, but Dunstone, because he's Saskatchewan and people were excited about Saskatchewan having a real chance to represent Canada at the Olympics. So I think that's a bit of a shock, and it's one of the big storylines, if not the biggest.
More on that a little later on. Moving on to point 3. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are back in the win column. Tom Brady threw for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns as Tampa Bay beat the New York Giants 30-10 on Monday Night Football, snapping a 2-game losing skid. Daniel Jones threw a touchdown pass to left tackle Andrew Thomas, and the Giants stayed close for one half before unraveling. I won't get your take on this, Darren, other than to say a couple things. One, the Bucs were in control from kickoff to the final gun. The Giants, as it said, unraveled. The turnovers, penalties, gave the game away. It was exactly the way we thought the game would go. The only problem for me is getting up this morning, notification on my phone from The Athletic. Buccaneers officially Super Bowl favorites. I'm like, going into the game, it was Buccaneers hoping to avoid first 3-game losing streak since 2002. So they win, and they're Super Bowl favorites. Stop. I'm going to move on to the NHL. You ready?
Yeah, I mean, just stop.
Or do you have a thought? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, they look pretty good. I watched the game. They look pretty good in the football game. That first drive was just surgical, and then they had a couple others. Tom was fired up, as Tom's been fired up when a couple things don't go his way. But it's tough because the NFL is so unpredictable. Like, I'm putting my top 5 together, and I'm hopefully we're going to have it for next hour. But it's so hard to do because teams that are in the top 5 lose and teams that are out win, and there's not a lot of consistency, but that's what makes the NFL a lot of fun.
Moving on to the NHL, and I'll ask the guys, please keep us both up if you don't mind. Justin Falk scored his 100th career goal. Boy, 1,000, wouldn't that be something? 100th career goal to cap a quick 3-goal outburst by St. Louis in the first period, and the Blues beat the Vegas Golden Knights 5-2 on Monday night. I don't know what's going on with the Vegas Golden Knights, but it's becoming a concern, Moose. Elsewhere in San Jose, Alexander Barbunov scored 142 into overtime, and San Jose handed Carolina only its third loss of the season, 2-1. Alex Newhook, Team Canada fans know him, scored the go-ahead goal with 1:33 to go, sending Colorado past Ottawa 7-5 for the Avs' fifth straight win. Look out, here comes Colorado. Jack Roslovic had 2 goals and an assist to lead the Columbus Blue Jackets past the Buffalo Sabres 7-4 on Monday night. Did you happen to see the photo, Moose, of Cole Sillinger presenting a jersey to Dan Le Batard of the infamous Dan Le Batard show of ESPN? Yes. Somebody tagged me in it, showed me the photo. I guess Cole has moved on and forgotten us little people.
Is Le Batard a big Sillinger fan? Or
I have no idea. If you go look up Dan Le Batard on Twitter, you'll see a photo of him holding up a Cole Sillinger jersey, and I think Cole might have been in studio with him. How about that? We need to get to the bottom of it. Yakov Trenin scored the tie-breaking goal at 12:10 of the third period and had an assist in Nashville's 3-2 victory over Anaheim. And finally, Danton Heinen scored the go-ahead goal early in the third period, and Tristan Jarry allowed 1 goal after back-to-back shutouts to lead Pittsburgh over Winnipeg 3-1 at Canada Life Center. Dominic Toninato scored in the first period, but that was it for the Jets as Jarry finished with 30 saves after posting shutouts at Montreal and Toronto in the first 2 games of Pittsburgh's 3-game Canadian swing. Jason Zucker and Jake Gensel also scored for the Penguins, whose perfect road trip followed a 3-game skid. Connor Hellebuyck stopped 33 shots for Winnipeg in a losing cause. It's their 3rd loss in a row, and the Jets now 7-2-1 at home. I'm going to pause there for a second. We do have a couple minutes left in this segment. Coming up, I'm going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals releasing Chris Streveler. We talk about the Saskatchewan Huskies getting ready for the UTEC Bowl, and a trio of their players were recognized by Canada West U Sports. But let's just say this about the National Hockey League, because for the Canadians that don't know, and I think people should, U.S. Thanksgiving is Thursday, and the rule of thumb, Darren, that's always been the thing in the National Hockey League that I know of, and my dad worked in it for 26 years, is U.S. Thanksgiving is like the cutoff line where you know what you have or you don't have. So let's just look at your team, the Maple Leafs. Have you formulated what they are? Do they need anything? Do you feel that as we approach Thanksgiving a couple of days from now, they are who you thought they were?
Well, yeah, I think they've been trending in the right direction. You know, I think what we've lost in the last couple of seasons is clearly identified roles. I think that was always missing. You know, it just felt like everybody would sit back and say, oh, these guys are so good. You know, the Marners, the Matthews, the Nylanders, the Tavares, that they're going to do the scoring and we're just going to play. And you don't really have, you wonder what the bottom 6 is doing, right? There's no purpose there. But I think we're starting to see that a little bit. You're starting to see some energy from the bottom 6. You know, it seems like the back end settled in. If Jack Campbell can be, a real number 1 and play well night in and night out, they're going to be okay. I think we're starting to see that identity. The top, 6 is becoming the top 6. We're starting to see a little bit more identity in the bottom 6. So, I think we're starting to see where the Leafs are at, and I think it's pretty positive. At least I'm always positive and optimistic, but I'm pretty okay with where they're at.
Well, that's my point. When I said the Avalanche here, like, look out, here come the Avs. They're now on a lengthy winning streak. How long before they're tops in the Central Division, which we thought that they would be? And I thought Vegas would be running away with the Pacific Division, and they're nowhere close.
Well,
so at what time
that makes me wonder about those
fans
teams. Yeah, Vegas and the Islanders. We talked about the Islanders yesterday, and Vegas. Is this who these teams are? Yeah. We don't want to accept that because it's so early, but it's U.S. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, Vegas didn't go 13 straight on the road like the Islanders did. They don't really have an excuse. So when we come back, we'll get into the viewer comments. Of course, the comment of the week will get a $50 gift card from Taco Time. But I'll turn it to the streets, Moose, and see what they have to say when we come back. We'll get into this Arizona Cardinals Chris Streveler situation. CFL playoff weekend is at hand. More on who the viewers think should be running the Edmonton Elks. And are you happy with your NHL team as we approach U.S. Thanksgiving? You are watching the RP Show live from the Great Western Brewery in Saskatoon with Moose and me in South Florida on Game Plus Television, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Grade. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Grade Systems a call today.
Your family needs a break. Delta Hotels Saskatoon welcomes you to our newly renovated hotel and water park. You deserve a vacation close to home. Enjoy world-class hospitality and upscale surroundings. Rediscover Saskatoon. You can enjoy time away from home right in your own city. The kids will love the water slide. Delta Hotels Saskatoon downtown. All the essentials and then some.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is, and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. We're still sort of in the extended warm-up for Ecol Electric. The Moose is at the Great Western Brewery in Saskatoon. I'm in South Florida. And pardon me. Oh, here it is. Well, I thought it was here. I had an email here from the Winnipeg Jets about their Santa's Anonymous toy drive, and I deleted it accidentally. Hit the wrong button, Moose. You ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's the worst feeling in the
You can go
world.
find it.
Anyways, yeah, I'll get it. I just can't get it immediately. So we're trying a few different things here. It seems like the connection is better. Producer Clark said, can you go off the YouTube feed for comments this morning? And let's see how that works for a connection. And it seems to be working. So John in Edmonton watching says, what are your thoughts on the news that unvaccinated athletes can't come to Canada starting January 15th? What do I think? I think what took so long, let's go. Life's about choices. If you don't want to be vaccinated, you don't get to come to Canada and perform as an athlete. Pretty simple to me. How about you?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty simple. I mean, as long as this is a threat, that's going to be the case. As long as we're worried about spreading it and keeping businesses and the economy and everything slowed down, then it's going to be a thing that you have to do, right? I mean, it seems pretty simple because it's really difficult when you're traveling around in and out of countries to keep that control, right? Fly in, hotel, you're going to interact with somebody along the way, go for a meal. So I get it. I completely get it.
No problems here whatsoever. Thanks for the question, John. From the viewers regarding how do you feel about your NHL team as we approach U.S. Thanksgiving, Leighton Janice watching on YouTube says, the Islanders struggling boggles my mind. Well, it shouldn't. They opened the season with 13 straight road games because the rink wasn't ready yet. So that shouldn't be bogging you down at all mentally. These Jets fans saying that they can see the Jets making the playoffs, going a round or two, and then losing. Yeah, I think the main thing is get into the playoffs. That is the main thing. The reason when I talked about the U.S. Thanksgiving cutoff, Darren, was will we not forever think about the Los Angeles Kings in 2012 that were out of a playoff spot in late January, fired their head coach Terry Murray, and bring in Daryl Sutter, and they rally and go on to win a Stanley Cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the who is that team? St. Louis Blues. Same thing with Mike Yeo, and they bring in a brand new head coach who takes him to a Stanley Cup championship.
I know, you have to be open to this, but let's not bank on it, right? When your team's struggling and the team's struggling and the team's struggling, you can't sit there. Just wait till January when we're in last place because St. Louis did it, so we can do it, right? There's a difference. You have to know what you have. You have to make sure that you have the right pieces that are capable. It's different if your team sucks or if your team's just underperforming and you need a little tinker. For the Jets, I mean, they were talking about, last night, disappointed with the way that game went. They didn't have the puck enough. They didn't play well enough with the puck. But look at Connor Hellebuck looks really good. He played really well last night against Pittsburgh. Kyle Connor had a great chance in the breakaway. The puck just bounced on him and he didn't get a good shot away on that breakaway. There was opportunities. Winnipeg's still a very good team. So you got to remain patient in Winnipeg because as long as Hellebuck's playing at the level he is, and you still have, Scheifele and Wheeler, that's the concern. They're getting chances, but they're not scoring. If that continues, I'd be concerned. But once they get going, and it will happen because they're good players, Winnipeg will be fine.
Absolutely. But that's the thing. I know we have a lot of viewers in Winnipeg. The ratings tell us that. But I just want to make it clear, we can't listen to the irrational Winnipeg Jets fan base. Because when they were winless in 3 to start the season, all of a sudden it was the, fire Paul Maurice talk, fire Chevy talk. And now look where they are, near the top of the Central Division, which we knew was going to happen. So anyways, Jets fans are going to be Jets fans. Same thing as fans are going to be fans. But you just can't necessarily listen to them.
And it feels like, this is the counseling session and you've been doing this for 20 years. Come here and we'll make sure you stay level and we'll put it into perspective for you.
John in Edmonton says, did you watch the Elks press conference yesterday? That's a hard no, John. No, I did not. Mandy's checking. So again, I'm going off the YouTube comments here today. And so I can't get all the comments. Let me just put it this way. Oh, Christine. Is it Christine? She's telling me that I'm frozen. Am I frozen or is she frozen? I think she's frozen. Yeah, Christine, it's okay. It's not a me problem. All I have is one sentence here. For point 5. Arizona Cardinals release Chris Streveler. And you see that it's a big headline at 3down. Yeah, I know, right? At 3downnation.com. That's it. And a nice long story at 3downnation.com. Chris Streveler, of course, came into prominence, the former South Dakota State star who came in an emergency duty in the 2019 CFL playoffs and piloted the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to some wins in the fall, I guess before Zach Calero showed up. And I think he did come in playoff time, Chris Streveler. And then he got Arizona Cardinals signed him out of it. I think they said he's made $760,000 each of the last 2 years. But he was released. Let's just say this, Darren. Maybe Chris Streveler will get an opportunity with another NFL team. He probably will. I mean, everybody compares him to Taysom Hill with the Saints, and he just got a big extension. Maybe Chris Streveler stays in the NFL. And if you were him, you know he's going to exhaust every opportunity. But he can't say, I don't think, that he didn't get his opportunity in Arizona. You know, he started a must-win game last year in week 17 for the Cardinals and couldn't pull it off to make the playoffs. And then against the Carolina Panthers the other night, he didn't really get it done. I guess it was 10 days ago now. Streveler can't say that he didn't get his chance in Arizona.
He's got in his office. You know, when Kyler Murray goes down and Colt McCoy's you're in.
Okay, they're telling me that they got to pull Darren off the screen because his screen froze up at Great Western Brewery. So, let me know when Darren's back. This is hilarious. Mandy in Edmonton, she's upset. She says, RP, not even watching the news. My God. No, they asked if I watched the news conference. And the answer is no. There's a hell of a lot of other things going on, Mandy, in the world than the Edmonton Elks firing their president, general manager, and head coach, okay?
Bingo!
I was talking with the Florida Panthers. Exactly. I was talking with the Florida Panthers yesterday. We were formulating plans for Wednesday's game against the Philadelphia Flyers. Saturday with the Seattle Kraken coming to town. There are bigger things than the Edmonton Elks, Mandy, and there were bigger things. I'll just stop there. But you get it. It's big to you. It's not big to me. We got him back. Okay, Moose. Back. We didn't get much of what you were saying about Chris Streveler. So he can start again on he can't say that he didn't get his fair chance with the Arizona Cardinals.
He did, and I think he completed like 68% of his passes, but like for 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And you're right, he started that must-win game last year, but now when Kyler Murray goes down, you know, they're not turning to Chris Streveler. When Kyler Murray goes down, they turn to Colt McCoy to be their starter. And it wasn't until that game was out of hand that Chris ended up getting his opportunity. So, you know, the big body, the short yardage, that's great. But the Taysom Hill comparison is Chris Streveler taking handoffs for Arizona? Is Chris Streveler catching passes, you know, as a viable option as a tight end or a slot back for Arizona? And the answer is no, you know. So you can't just be a short yardage under center quarterback and expect to be Taysom Hill because you run a little bit. You know, he has to do those things and be an asset in those areas, catching the football, running the foot, a real threat.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. They tell me that we've lost the Moose again. So we'll work on that. But I appreciate John. Oh, and we got a ton of text messages I just noticed have come in on the 902 number. So hang on. John Kirby in Edmonton has just pointed out he didn't mean to, but he's just shown why didn't watch the Elks news conference. John Kirby in Edmonton says at the Elks press conference yesterday, they were asked several times about the firing of their equipment manager. They answered the question, no. All they said is, we're not ready to give an answer. So why would I watch it, John? I know for a fact they weren't going to stand there and answer any questions to anybody's satisfaction. I know that. That's the way sports is now. What do you expect them to say? We just burnt this franchise to the ground. We fired the president, the general manager, and the head coach. They were 3-11. They were an embarrassment. And what we all know what happened. Don't we all know? What are you going to watch the news conference for? No, Mandy, you don't guess what I was going to say because you're wrong. I see what she's upset. Let's dig a little further into this Edmonton Elks thing before we break and bring in Ozzy Wiesblatt, because it is Canada's daytime sports talk show. She thinks she knows what I was going to say, but she doesn't. For one, I'm wondering where the money is coming from to make these firings. That's my biggest concern, if we're going to get real here for a minute, for the Edmonton Elks. Because as I told you, I was talking to football people this morning. Let's just say Jimmy Elizondo, the head coach. He coached 1 year. You know, when he signed a contract to be their head coach, it was at least 2 years. And that's a six-figure job. So now you're burning at least six figures on your head coach that you've deemed was a bad hire, I guess. And I'll come back around on that in a moment. We don't know the contract status of the general manager and the president, but we do know they make a hell of a lot more than the head coach. And do we need to get into the fact that the Edmonton football team burned $500,000 on Scott Milanovich in a COVID year when he didn't even run a practice, didn't even coach a game? I'm not sure he even stepped foot in Edmonton. He was down here in South Florida when he signed that deal. I don't think he ever went to Edmonton. $500,000 gone there. And you got a league going to Ottawa saying, can we get $150 million? And the government's like, nope. How about $30 million? Also, no. So this goes back to financial mismanagement of a team. When are you going to listen to what I'm saying about how business is done with these teams? It's not just an Edmonton Elks thing. But how confident are you as an Edmonton fan base that this board that put all these guys in place, let's start with the president, Chris Presson. Did he inherit Brock Sunderland as the GM? I can't remember the timeline. But clearly, he was deemed that he had to go. And then, as one of the football guys that I talked to this morning said, Jamie Elizondo is the guy that I feel the most sorry for because he just got caught up in a really bad culture. So, no, this is no small thing. And you're getting my analysis here on the Edmonton Elks because Darren's gone, but it is the Rod Pedersen Show. And I guess, Clark, you tell me when we got a break, because I think we are up against it for a break here. Yeah, okay, and we will. But I'm just saying Hugh Campbell ran this. Hugh Campbell is responsible for the Eskimo way, not this board. So I'd be really worried where this franchise is going, is my point. You can fire all the guys you want, and they say what goes around comes around, and that's fine. It generally does. But what's the collateral damage in the meantime? You smoked your 49-year equipment manager in a classless move. You changed the franchise's name. Could you go back? Eddie Steele lost his job on Elks Radio for saying it the way that it is. Like, look at all what's done. And then you fire them? You can't go back. So, anyways, we'll get into more of that Taco Time viewer takeover a little later on. But Ozzy Wiesblatt joins us next. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back to the program, everybody. A reminder, Taco Time viewer takeover coming up next segment. RP Show continues from beautiful South Florida, where the Panthers are home Wednesday night to the Philadelphia Flyers. If you're a hockey fan at all, you know the name Ozzy Wiesblatt. He is a star in the Western Hockey League. He is a prospect of the San Jose Sharks, a first-round draft choice. And Ozzy joins us today, I think from Prince Albert. That's where he was supposed to be last week when we had him lined up to go, and the weather got in the way. And like I say, I'm a big fan of Ozzy, too. Called his games with the Raiders. How you doing, Ozzy?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Love interviewing junior hockey players. Listen, you were supposed to come on last week, but you guys had to leave early because of the storm. You're heading up to Edmonton. What's the last week been like in the life of the Prince Albert Raiders and one Ozzy Wiesblatt?
Yeah, I think there's been some traveling involved, and that's just junior hockey, and I think that's something I've come to love and kind of cherish. So, it was a good week of hockey up in Edmonton and Red Deer, and played two pretty good teams, and unfortunately didn't get the 4 points we wanted, but we had a good effort.
Ozzy, you're in your fourth full season in Prince Albert, and you got into those 6 games with the San Jose Barracudas, which I'll ask you about earlier on this fall. But you've kind of seen it all with the Prince Albert Raiders. For our viewers that don't know your history there, and you're going to be playing with the Sharks one day, what's your career been like with the Raiders? What are your memories, and how would you like to see it end here at the end of this season?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think I was very fortunate to be on a great team when I was 16, and obviously won the Ed Chanel Cup, and it was an unbelievable experience, just learning from all those guys. And, every year I've been a part of this team, I learned something new, whether it's, life experiences or, on the ice. And obviously, this year I want to win another championship. And I think, we got the guys in the room to do it. And, we got a good coaching staff, and we have everything we need to win. So I believe in these guys, and I think we can do it.
Well, what it does take to win. And now that I think about it, the Prince Albert Raiders are still the defending Western Hockey League champions. And I got to ask you, if COVID hadn't derailed this thing the last 2 years, what do you think was possible for that club? I mean, one of the saddest stories ever is that Max Paddock never really got to have his redemption story and goal for himself or for you guys. But what do you think this team would have been capable of at the top of its cycle the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's too bad. I think, obviously we've had a great team for, probably the whole time I've been here. So, there's possibilities, we could have went back to back or things like that. And, it's unfortunate, but, I just can't control those things, and you kind of got to move on and, focus on the task at hand. And, that's this year. So, hopefully we can do it again this year.
Sure. Well, you obviously have moved forward, but I want to talk about the bubble last year in Regina, because I called the games, and every time the Pats were playing Prince Albert, I was like, watching you, I'm like, wow. There is no doubt why you went in the first round to the San Jose Sharks. What was it like living in the bubble last year in Regina? Tell us. I haven't talked to too many guys about it, but everybody that I have talked to didn't care for it. What was it like from what you remember?
No, I loved it. I think it was a different experience, and I got the chance to hang out with all the guys all day, and it was something I missed being away for them for so long. And we always have a great group here in PA, and everybody loves it. Everyone loves each other and loves being around each other. So I thought it was an awesome experience, and something maybe I won't have again. So something I try to cherish as much as possible.
Oh, well, trust me, I know. I don't know if the staff up there told you I was the voice of the Raiders long before you were even around. You're a 2002 baby in Calgary. I was the voice of the Raiders from 93 to 95, and we called it Little Chicago then, or Little Montreal, actually. Little Montreal then. I know how big of a deal the Raiders are in that town. So I guess that brings me to my next question for you, Ozzy. You guys are 6-11, 0-1. 11th in the conference. What's missing right now? What's not happening for the Prince Albert Raiders?
Yeah, I think it's early in the year still. We've played some really good teams, and we're still trying to kind of figure kind of our identity out. And we have new players, and it's a long year, and we still got lots of time to turn things around. And the guys we have in that dressing room are great people off the ice, and that'll only lead to good hockey on the ice. So, I'm not worried about it. And, I believe in this group. So.
Got to be honest, your Muzzy is a little distracting, Ozzy. Are you doing a Movember thing, or what is the story? What is the story behind that duster?
No, yeah, it's definitely Movember. It's probably the best one I've had. So, I'm not complaining.
Is there any contest on the bus for who's got the best one? Who else is participating in Movember on the Prince Albert Raiders?
Goals is trying, but I'm pretty sure I'm blowing everybody out the water right now. So, not to brag.
Well, you're one of the older guys. You should be at your age. And yeah. I got to ask you this: how much you watching the fortunes of the San Jose Sharks? They've had some major COVID issues this year, as you obviously know. Your thoughts on your future club here with the Sharks this season in that Pacific Division?
I try and watch as many games possible. It's tough with our schedule and traveling and things like that. But obviously, I try and watch as much as possible. And they're kind of in the same boat, just trying to kind of figure things out. And they had a big win, I believe, last night versus the Canes. So. It's good to see, and hopefully they turn things around as well. They have an awesome group in that dressing room, and yeah.
Huge victory over the Carolina Hurricanes, actually, just the Canes' third loss of the year. And that reminds me, by the way, when you go to a camp, of course, and I guess you've been to a couple, I would assume. I don't know what the COVID thing's done to you there, but you know these guys, right? They feel like your friends. Who are the guys that you kind of gravitated to in your time with San Jose since being drafted in the first round?
I got really close to Mario Ferraro there, where, I spent the summer in San Jose, so he was also there. So, I got to spend a lot of time with him, and, he's around my age too. So, it was pretty good just, going out to lunches and dinners with him, and, staying at his place sometimes, and, always working out with him too. So he was a great guy for me to kind of lean on, and, if I had any questions, I wouldn't hesitate to ask him.
What's the schedule ahead for the Raiders the rest of the week, Ozzy?
We'll play against Moose Jaw here soon, and then we'll have 2 games on the weekend. And I guess right now we're just kind of focusing on the practice here today, and trying to clean some things up. And we obviously play the first place team in the league on the weekend. So, I know the guys will want to win that game, and, I'm excited for it.
Absolutely, you should be. Well, Ozzy, big fan here. As I've pointed out, good luck getting this thing back on track. I appreciate the time. Say hey to all my Raider friends, and hopefully we get a chance to do it again.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Rod.
Ozzy Wiesblatt of the Prince Albert Raiders joining us today from the Gateway to the North. Taco Time Viewer Takeover is next. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Your family needs a break. Delta Hotels Saskatoon welcomes you to our newly renovated hotel and water park. You deserve a vacation close to home. Enjoy world-class hospitality and upscale surroundings. Rediscover Saskatoon. You can enjoy time away from home right in your own city. The kids will love the water slide. Delta Hotels Saskatoon downtown. All the essentials and then some.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds. Feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Safety is a primary pillar at Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Grain Systems a call today.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, it's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It is time for Taco Time Viewer Takeover. Dare I say my favorite time, although Taco Time is my favorite time, but chatting with the viewers is too. It's getting spicy in the comments today. Every Tuesday, by the way, is Taco Tuesday for only $2 each at Taco Time. Do you order hard or soft shell tacos? Beef or veggie? Frankly, I wonder why they would even make a veggie taco at all. But that's just me. I'm going to keep it to the text line with these comments because there's enough here. I don't need to go into that YouTube pool. And you can always write us here at 902-518-3033. We don't have the jingle ready yet because Moose has been in Saskatoon, unable to take care of those business matters. But again, right now, you can write us 902-518-3033, the number to reach us right here on set. So earlier on, I asked, how are you feeling about your NHL team as we are on really the cusp of U.S. Thanksgiving? It's 2 days away. And in NHL circles, they say that U.S. Thanksgiving is to use a farm term, where they separate the wheat from the chaff. The stuff that you turn into wheat, that you turn into bread and pasta, or the stuff that you blow out the back of the combine. That's the chaff. This is where the separation happens. Andy, watching in Michigan, says Habs season was done at the Canadian Thanksgiving. Is this year the year they hire Patty Waugh in the offseason as general manager?
Spicy.
Habs fan in Michigan checking in. Yeah, right? No. As much as I would. If there's a baby hockey Jesus, Montreal would hire Patty Waugh as head coach and general manager, but I'm not sure there is a baby hockey Jesus. And from what I'm told from my NHL people, the next general manager of the Montreal Canadiens will be Matthew Darche, the current director of hockey operations with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So watch for that. Chris Jarl is watching in Surrey, BC. He says, last minute of play in hour one. He says, so unhappy with my Canucks. I thought they looked better on paper than last year. Was I ever wrong? I see more issues with special teams than anything else. Power play is so predictable. Do you think it's time to change the coach or GM? Yeah, that's long overdue. I saw them opening night at Edmonton. I've said it many times. I'm like, this team is not good. Mandy checking in here regarding the Elks. She says, no, Rod, they don't have to appoint a president before letting go of the current one. The team needs a new direction, period. This is under Wally's direction. You can't overrule that. Darren, enough sexy talk. That's from Mandy. So she's really ordering us around. Moose. Well, Moose, I'm sure he's watching right now in the brewery in Saskatoon. When we come back, we'll, of course, have hour 2 for Great Western, Original 16, and Core Grain. Answer all of your questions and talk about a big night coming up.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Breaking news today. I do have the cowbell with me. The board of directors of the Edmonton Elks football team has terminated the contracts of president and CEO Chris Presson, general manager Brock Sunderland, and head coach Jamie Elizondo, effective immediately. The Edmonton Elks cleaning house on this Monday morning, firing the president, the general manager, and the head coach.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
How about that? How about that? A look at the Great Western Brewery in Saskatoon. Great Western's Original 16 brings you hour 2 of the Rod Pedersen Show, and that's where we are today. Well, I'm not at the brewery. I'm in South Florida. The Moose is in Saskatoon at the Great Western Brewery, and they'll be talking about a very big night at the Tim Hortons Canadian Curling Trials. And I'll tell you what, if you're just joining us for hour 2, you have missed a lot. And producer Clark is telling me that Darren is having connection issues at the brewery in Saskatoon. So I went on a bit of a monologue in the absence of Moose last hour about the Edmonton Elks at the prompting of Edmonton fans. And I was going to lob all this into Darren's lap here in hour 2 and just divest myself. But now I can't. He's not here. And I thank my 14,000 hours on air as a broadcast veteran to be able to pull through this. Because I don't know if Darren's going to be with us in this segment or not. And by the way, Clark, I'm having problems with either my hearing or this earpiece. So I don't know. Send a flare over the 49th parallel if Darren ever is able to join us here in hour 2. And the viewers can also help me out. Believe me, I have more than enough content here to get through. If I need to sit here and talk for an hour straight, I can do it. And it's something of a disservice to the 4 teams that will play this weekend in the Canadian Football League that we're spending so much time on the Edmonton Elks, but that's fine. Edmonton is our third city for viewership. It's Saskatchewan, Regina, then Winnipeg, then Edmonton. So they want to know about their team. But I'm just going to read a quick sports update because I didn't get to it last hour. Just 2 Canadian NHL teams are in action tonight. Connor McDavid and the Oilers host the Dallas Stars. Later on, the Flames take on the Chicago Blackhawks in Calgary. Winnipeg Jets have lost 3 in a row after dropping a 3-1 decision to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Kyle Connor says his team came out a bit sloppy, missing passes and not staying under pucks. Penguins goalie Tristan Jarry had 30 saves to collect the win. Senators coach DJ Smith says defenseman Josh Brown is likely to be out for an extended period after suffering an upper body injury in Ottawa's 7-5 loss to Colorado last night. And the Lakers will be without LeBron James tonight as they take on the Knicks in New York. The superstar is serving a 1-game suspension following an ugly altercation with Detroit's Isaiah Stewart on Sunday. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Book your group or business Christmas party now for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, where you'll never need to ask to have the CFL games put on. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. They're telling me that we can go to Moose now. So Moose, here's where I'm at in this segment, the second half kickoff here for Great Western's Original 16 and Core Grain. We have to come back on this. But Mandy is very adamant that they don't need in Edmonton to hire the president first, that it could be the general manager first. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I know who I would be calling first. The first hire in Edmonton, what I would do. But before we get to that, please, we have you in Saskatoon to cover the Tim Hortons Canadian curling trials. Tell us the big stories. And we did an hour ago, but tell them again for those that are just tuning in why this is a big day at the Tim Hortons trials.
Yeah, it's huge. Well, the big story, for Saskatchewan viewers is Matt Dunstone. Matt Dunstone not being at the top of his game, and he's without his third, his anchor, and Braden Moskowy. That's a rock. Braden is a skip by trade, right? He's a Canadian junior champion. So that's a big loss, and Braden's in a hole. So he's got to get out of that. The big match this afternoon, I'll be there, 2 o'clock, probably get it on our social feeds. Brad Gushue and Brad Jacobs, 2 of the top teams in the world that both badly want to represent Canada. They're both prior champions. They're both undefeated, and they play this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Jennifer Jones has been playing well. She's on top. That's great. Rachel Holman is on her way back. She had a good day yesterday. So those are kind of the big storylines heading into today's action.
8,217 at the Monday night draw, by the way, and I tuned in. They sound loud. It's awesome to have Vic Rauter's voice back, right? And Russ Howard. So, yeah, curling's back. It's a big thing. Thank you for that update. So,
it's awesome.
Metal Shingle Guy writes in on the 902 text line. He says, so will it be John Murphy as general manager, Chris Jones as head coach, or Chris Jones as GM, head coach, defensive coordinator? In a big week in the Canadian Football League, this is why we're talking about these things. My very first call, if I'm the Edmonton team, is to Lee Genier right now. I tweeted as much yesterday, and I said it last hour. I'm not sure if you were on at that time, but NLL Executive of the Year, championships won with the Saskatchewan Rush, Saskatchewan Rattlers, Calgary Stampeders. He has this written all over him. And then you just go, Lee, go do it. Lee, go do your thing. He knows about building championship teams. He knows about branding. He knows about it all. That would be my guy. Or do you agree with Mandy that says you don't need to hire a president first, hire the GM first? I'm not saying she's wrong. That's just not how I would do it.
Well, if you're going to hire the GM first, you can do that. You can hire the GM first, and then you could, work with the GM to get a coach. But that essentially tells me you're not going to hire a president, or what you're going to do is the board is really running things and not empowering the president, right? So if that's the case, If that's the organizational structure they want to go down, where the board has all the power and makes all the decisions, then you can hire a GM and then hire a president saying, yes, but we hire these people. You don't get to make the choice on the GM. You don't get to make the choice on these decisions. We do. You handle the business operations. We'll handle the other stuff. Maybe that's the route they're going to go down. That's the only way you would hire a GM first, because essentially that's what you're telling the group. But you need to do it fast, because as soon as the season's over, you got to get to work on next year.
It is Canada's daytime sports talk show. That's why we're talking so much about the Canadian Football League. And the Jug is watching, and he texts in on the 902 line, and he says, hey, Roddy, Eddie Steele should get his job back, and Dwayne should get his 50 years the proper way. And for those that don't know, when we covered this an hour ago, this regime in Edmonton that was fired yesterday fired their 49-year equipment manager. Pink slip in COVID. Get out. And there was no, from what I saw, no Dwayne Mandrusiak night this year to bring him back and honor him. And I don't know that D-Rock would have even showed up if they'd invited him. And then the radio guy, the analyst, Eddie Steele, fired after calling out Brock Sunderland, saying all the problems with his team start with him. Well, Eddie gets fired in September. I'll never forget, because I was here in Florida when he called me to say that he just got toasted. And I said, would you change anything you said? He said, no. I said, well, hold your head up, Eddie. If you don't have integrity, you don't have anything. And so anyways, that is the point on that, is a lot of collateral damage done by that group. And are some people being unfairly maligned in this? I don't know enough. I'm just going by what I hear. But there are those that feel sorry for Jamie Elizondo. He just got caught up in his first year as head coach with an organization that clearly had a dreadful culture and was going in the wrong direction, and he gets fired in one fell swoop. So that's a tough part too. But, Eddie has responded, and Clark just told me in my ear that Eddie's going to be on the program here on Friday, so that'll be good. How about that?
How about that?
But, look, people, they just don't understand. You used to, in this business, be able to be critical of the team for which you cover. You used to be, and you can't anymore. And I've kind of just stopped, as you know, Darren, arguing with people, trying to convince them. It's just not something that I want to be a part of anymore, because it's not fun. Look where I am. This is what I want to do. And if you can't say what you want on the air anymore, because everybody's like, Rod, you should be doing play-by-play. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Can I decide what I want to do? This is it. And so anyway, Eddie has responded and said, because I said, does Eddie get his job back? And people said, well, if he gets a filter, yeah, he should get his job back. And Eddie goes, lesson learned. Don't tell it the way it is. And I just don't want to do that anymore, Darren. I don't know about you.
There's a difference a little bit when for Eddie in that role in the team station. Are you hiring to tell them like it is, but you want real analysis from these guys, because that's what the fans want. The fans want real analysis. They want honesty. They're the ones who tune in, and essentially they're the ones that the advertisers want. So without the fans, you're not making money, and without the real opinions, the fans aren't going to want to tune in. I get that the organizations don't want to have any negative publicity. I understand all of that, but it's sometimes you got to look in the mirror and understand that maybe it's not as good as we think it is. And we've been proven that this week with the decisions made in Edmonton.
Well, they will never, ever, 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 ever look in the mirror. Jack Fulton watching in Alberta says Lee Genier would be an outstanding choice. He put the Stamps back on the financial sponsors map back in the day. It's exactly what the Edmonton Elks need right now. Oh, they need a lot of things. But Lee could address all of those things. He's got the resume to do it. Maybe they've called him already. I would hope they have. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, writes in. He says, are we looking at another 4 to 5 year rebuild with the Elks to create sustainable success? Or do they need to put their balls on the table and win a cup in the next 2 to regain the faith of the fans? Well, Edmonton is a tremendous, tremendous CFL city. I don't think it'll take much to get those fans back. I swear, Darren, I don't think that it will.
Yeah.
And I see people talking about the rebuild, this and that. They were 3-11 this year. Bottom fell out. They were the wet cardboard boxes, it turns out. Look at the Toronto Argonauts 2017. I might have my numbers a little wrong, but I believe they went from a 4-14 year to hiring Jim Popp and Mark Trestman and winning a Grey Cup the next. Ricky Ray was their quarterback. So this is an Edmonton team. The football guys tell me, because I'm not that smart. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's what people tell me all the time. So I rely on the football people. They say this was the second most talented team in the league. So it wouldn't take long in a 9-team league for Edmonton to turn it around. But as somebody said to me today, and I want your take on this too, if the board knew they were going to fire all these guys, like when was this decision made? How do you sign off on the Trevor Harris trade, get him out of town, your franchise base? How do you sign off on acquiring Nick Arbuckle, and then you don't play him? From what I hear, they jack him around on money. That's why all these firings yesterday, 3 huge firings. I'm not totally confident that they're going to find their way out of this mess because it's still the board of directors that are running things. I don't know how much power they've given Wally, but your thoughts on all those things I just said.
Yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, we'll get to the team coming back in a second. We'll start with the most recent that you just mentioned. Making those decisions. Well, on the one hand, it looks like decided to wait till the season was over and then get together and decide, okay, are we going forward with this group or are we not? And if we're not, let's act fast, let's act quickly, and let's go make the move. Even if they knew before, perhaps they were working to say, look, we will make this move because Trevor Harris is money out, Arbuck money in, and let's start saving a little bit of money. So if we can get him out and take his big $400,000 off the books, then let's do that. And let's bring in Nick Arbuckle at 100 and some or 200 and some or even 300, cheaper still than Trevor Harris. So that could have been made for that reason. And it's like, hey, look, you can do whatever you want, just don't spend any more money. So if you're bringing somebody in and he's going to cost me more money if he plays, don't play him, right? That could have been what was said. I don't know. In terms of the community, you're right. They can rebuild this in a flash. And if you are having trouble with fan bases, with getting your fans coming to the games, this is where you need to engage communities, engage groups, engage minor football, give tickets away, get people into the building, right? You're going to have to go back to let people sample your product for free for a game or 2 or 3, and then hopefully you capitalize down the road. But once you get people in the building, you have to put on a really good show. So I think it would be a fun off season in Edmonton with that kind of challenge, but it's a real challenge that they have to try and get the fan base to come back.
Darren Workman in Salt Lake City says the roster was not the problem in Edmonton. Crap like what it sounds like is going on with Nick Arbuckle is the problem. Yeah, it was the way they were doing business. There's a lot of people affected by this regime. You need to go back and right all those wrongs? I don't know. Teams don't generally do that. Wayne in Victoria, BC says, Rod, you've got the best job in the world. Why would you want to do play-by-play again and have to kowtow to the team you're working for? Right?
Approved.
People are starting to pay attention. From an account named Sam's Scarf Closet, says John Gruden's available.
Oh, no.
You hiring John Gruden, Moose, if you're the president of the Edmonton Elks? Which, by the way, some viewers are suggesting you should be the next president of the Edmonton Elks. Would you hire Chucky?
Probably not. Just simply because don't need to go down that road. I look at the list. There's enough qualified, people that we don't need to go down that road. But I'm not saying he shouldn't necessarily never be hired by anybody ever again. A lot of people out there that are working on their 13th, 14th, 15th chances. And Gruden needs another one potentially. But also that's a lot of stuff to go through to determine, okay, what's the character like? Is he that guy? Has he changed, understood where he went wrong? Making sure you're bringing a good person into your organization. But no, it's not because of just wanting to avoid any controversy. It's because there's a lot of really good qualified people that are familiar with this league and would want to be in Edmonton and stay in Edmonton.
We got a lot of viewers in Edmonton, as you know, and John Kirby says the Elks blame COVID-19, the bag policy, COVID measures, mobile ticketing as a reason why fans did not want to attend games. Yeah, well, of course, they're going to say that. It's up to you whether you want to believe them or not.
Get one or the other, right? Excuses or results?
I don't care what they say. I just find it funny that Mandy was all upset at me and these Edmonton fans that I didn't watch the Elks news conference yesterday. And I'm like, why would I waste my time? It's all going to be a bunch of bunk.
Yeah.
Anyways, from Big Wildcat watching says, can the Bombers sign Chris Streveler for the Grey Cup? Let's talk about that and other things when we come back. The other question that I had for the viewers was, how are you feeling about your NHL team as we are on the cusp of U.S. Thanksgiving? That's usually the cutoff line. People were really getting hot over that one. Fire us a note, 902-518-3033. And the poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center is, which is Canada's game of the week in the CFL? There are only two games. They're the division semifinals. In the East, it's Montreal and Hamilton. In the West, it's Calgary at Saskatchewan. And right now, running away with it on Twitter, it is the Western semifinal, Calgary at Saskatchewan, with 84% of the vote. Identical, Clark tells me on YouTube. So we're rocking and rolling. We're going to talk about that Western semifinal later on this hour with Danny Austin. But we're into Taco Time viewer takeover real early on the RP show today. It's Canada's daytime sports talk show, and we will be right back on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Hey, Don.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds. Feel in the air. It's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama. I live for the emotion. No one can take me down. Bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Green Systems a call today.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
You betcha. And the Moose. And it's Tuesday, by the way, which means it's Taco Tuesday, $2 tacos. I'll tell you what, Moose, I don't know if you're keeping an eye on the comment section or not, but they're really going after those tacos. And it's like this is me with the Edmonton fans. We're just standing back and just chucking nucks, like, not in a real bad way, but I'll give you an example. John in Edmonton, you know John in Edmonton. He's upset that I didn't watch the Elks news conference. He says, but then again, Rod, you would watch the Saskatchewan Roughriders press conference within a heartbeat. What's the difference? Well, two things there, John. Number one, no, I wouldn't. And two, how about you watch what you want to watch and I'll watch what I want to watch? How about that?
How about that?
Where's Rick Regan when you need him?
LFG.
And having said all of that, here's what I'm focused on. Mandy, this is what I was alluding to earlier. From Steve Goldie Goldstein, the television voice of the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers are 10-0 at home, and tomorrow night can tie an NHL record. They've won 21 of 22 in South Florida. The Florida Panthers. Wednesday, the Philly Flyers are going to be here. Saturday, Ebbs is going to be here. That's what I'm focused on, not the Edmonton Elks wandering around in the wilderness trying to find their way out. Their problem, not mine. Giving you my take on what they're doing. It's their problem. Scott Stanley writing us on the text line, the 902. Scott Stanley resides in St. Albert, Alberta, and he says, hey, Rod, to me, Jamie Elizondo didn't know what he was doing. And I didn't know you had a place at Del Boca Vista. Say hi to the Seinfelds. Our viewers should know, full disclosure, Darren, that you are not the biggest Seinfeld fan. You're technically not old enough. So all these Seinfeld references just go right over your head, don't they?
Yes, but I've found it on the streaming service. Season 1, episode 1. I'm going to start it on the weekend. Seinfeld.
Well, I hope you get it. My dad always said, if I was ever out visiting my mom and dad at the farmhouse or their house in town, I would have Seinfeld on. And Dad's like, why do you find this funny? And I'm like, I don't know, Dad. Yeah.
My dad, too. Jerry's like, he's always yelling all the time. I'm like, okay.
Del Boca Vista. You want a piece of me? Maybe just fast forward to that episode, Moose. Ryan McCarthy writing in. He says, Ryan from Saratoga, New York here. By the way, with the new text system, which Moose we haven't been around each other enough since you've lined this up, but I can tell who it is now, finally. The system saves who it is. Ryan from Saratoga, New York here. I'm happy with where the New Jersey Devils are at. Defense is much better than last season with the addition of Hamilton and Graves. Blackwood is turning the corner between the pipes. Mercer should be in Calder Trophy consideration. Can't wait for Hughes and Wood to come back to see what this team can really do. So I appreciate from the Devils Nation, if that's a thing, chiming in with their take on what's going on with the New Jersey Devils. I just think if we can just spend a minute on the NHL, because I know a lot of our South Florida viewers, of which there are many, they're tuning in for the hockey. They tell me not to CFL talk, but as they well know, we do the talking, they do the watching. People say, what about the Vegas Golden Knights and their problems? I have not watched many Golden Knights games at all. It's the time change hit me hard. The 9 o'clock starts, back in the rectangle. Eastern now, it's very hard to watch the Vegas Golden Knights. And two, with this coverage that we're giving the Florida Panthers, and I think, have people seen the synergy here with them putting on Randy Moeller, with them putting on Bill Lindsay? There's going to be more Florida Panthers people. I tried to tell people this 3 months ago. The Florida Panthers said, we need the coverage. Thank you for the coverage. I go to Vegas, and I'm sitting in T-Mobile Arena, and my brother's probably watching right now. He can attest to this. Gary Lawless said, where do you want to sit? And I said, I'd like to sit in the press box. He's like, you're not sitting in the press box. It's full. It's beyond capacity. The Vegas Golden Knights don't need the coverage. They're fine. The Florida Panthers do. And as I'm sitting here right now, I'm not exactly having problems with my decision. I don't know what to say about that, but or what you could say about that. But that's where I'm following more of the Florida Panthers than that. Troy Calmer in Toronto watching says, Rod, please don't start wearing your pants up to your armpits after spending so much time in Florida. Enjoy the weather, brother. And there is all kinds of now Seinfeld references coming in here. Mandy in Edmonton says, I just want the Elks news as it's now. And Rod is delivering, so I'm happy. We were getting dicey there for a second. Rob Mahoney says Jason Garrett is available, watching on YouTube. Jason Garrett, is he? I think he's with the New York Giants as a coordinator, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess let's just spend a minute, Darren, on who the Edmonton Elks. I said I would hire Lee Genier as the president and just let him go do his thing. What are you doing if you're running the Edmonton Elks? I guess I asked you that once, but I'll ask you again. Where do you see this? Who do you think the top candidates are or should be?
It depends. You need to find some culture. You have to create a new culture. Clearly, they rolled out the new brand, but that doesn't necessarily mean a new culture has been rolled out or even a new identity. You know, I always say a logo, a website, a name, a color scheme, your merchandise, that's not your brand. Those are branding elements, but your brand is your reputation. And right now, the Elks don't have a good one. The brand is poor. Do I think the new name and logoing and all those creative aspects are great? Yeah, pretty good. There's some great framework to build a solid brand. So you need to bring in somebody to create that reputation, that culture. Is it Chris Jones? Maybe. That could be the head coach, GM. You know, that could be who shapes your culture and is the real leader of your organization. Could it be the board stepping up and saying, look, at chairman of the board, and we are setting it from the top? Or do you bring in a president to be the face of this and really start to set the culture where, you know who's in control? The president's hiring the GM's hiring the coach, and together they roll. That's up to them around the boardroom. That's what I'd be talking about right now. How do we want to build this out? Where's our reputation and culture going to start from? Is it starting from the coaching and the GM? Is it starting from the boardroom and the board of directors? Or is it starting at with the president? That's what I'm looking at right now. Lee would be a great fit. Sure, he's had lots of success. Chris Jones would be good. Is this an opportunity to try somebody out new, like a G. Roy Simon, or put Danny McManus in that role? Maybe. They have to decide what direction they want to go and then start making decisions based on that.
I'm going to ask the guys to take me off camera after I ask you the next question, because I need to fix my earpiece. But are you, like me at all, in wondering about the financial ramifications of all of this for the CFL? Because the one thing that I talked to Edmonton football people this morning was, and I mentioned it, you're paying Elizondo at least 6 figures to go away for a year. I don't know what was left on the contracts of the GM or the president. They clearly don't have any ticket revenue because I watched the games. What is the financial picture of the CFL right now in terms of firing people, hiring people, what your budget is moving forward? For instance, what's the time frame here for the Edmonton Elks on hiring replacements for all these guys? How could they possibly know what they have to spend on the 3 most important jobs in the organization? Is that not a thing?
I know. And money is absolutely part of this. You have to know money coming in, money coming out. And that can be very difficult. It's a real difficult thing to do because you're trying to every day do the right thing for the organization. And you can't always be making tough decisions based on the financials, because then you stop doing what's best for the business. But then on the flip side, if you don't look at the financials forever, you end up in some trouble, and then you have to make decisions based solely on finances. So that part's tough. But it's not the first time this has happened in the business world. It's not the first time this will have happened in the CFL, where teams need a little bit of help. I don't think the CFL is going to let the Elks, die or go away because of, financial issues. Do they got to go the way of the telethon? Do they got to get support from other teams to stay afloat? Montreal just went through that recently. There will be ways to take care of this, but that is part of it, especially when you're operating in a league where you're not making a lot of money in this past 2 years or longer. And then you're going to throw money out by paying coaches to not coach. You might be hoping that Jamie Elizondo is going to find another job. And when he finds another job, then that takes the money off the books because his contract will be out and he'll sign a new one with somebody else. That could be the hope. But you know what? If this is the decision that's best for the football team moving forward, then it's a tough pill to swallow financially, but it's a decision you have to make. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Did we get your earpiece fixed yet?
Yeah, we did. Nice job. I got it 100%. So I appreciate that. The viewers, by the way, chiming in with their favorite Seinfeld lines. And of all the things, I'm not sure you have time to get caught up on all these things, Darren. It's going to take you years, some serious binge watching to get caught up on the Seinfeld stuff. But from Jennifer down at the Four Seasons Sports Palace, she says, "Can you spare a square?" Do you have any idea what that reference means, Darren?
No.
Ellen.
Is it about baked goods?
No. Julia Louise-Dreyfus was in a bathroom stall in a New York bathroom, and she was out of toilet paper. So she was reaching underneath the bathroom stall door to the next lady going, excuse me, can you spare a square? Trust me, man. I've watched them all. John Ohm in Winnipeg is watching. He says, who goes on vacation without a job? What do you need a break from? Getting up at 11? Ryan and from the Puck and Pigskin podcast. I was in the pool. George Costanza's shorts fell down, and it was a cold pool.
Oh, man.
Enough of that. One more, Moose. Sports on tap here before we bring in Danny Austin. National Hockey League tonight. Philadelphia, Tampa Bay. Edmonton at Dallas. Chicago at Calgary. In the NBA, the Raptors are off. In Major League Soccer, the playoffs are on, I guess. I thought they just started. Nashville at Orlando. Seattle at Salt Lake. Do you have a featured game tonight and or today? Lay it on me.
Yeah, my featured game's back on the ice in the curling rink. It's Gushu and Jacobs this afternoon at 2:00. I'm going to be there. I'm just pulling up the NHL sked. I'm going to be there for that one. So that's my featured game of the day. And I don't know about tonight. The Flames and Oilers both play. It'll be one of those two games. They're on at nearly the same time. There's a overlap of most of that game. Probably get the first period of the Oilers game and then more of the Flames game. So we'll have the recap of that. But no, it's Brad Gushu, Brad Jacobs this afternoon at in about an hour and a half. I'll be over at the rink for that. So that's mine. Yours?
The two Brads. We'll see. Honestly, I looked at the Edmonton-Dallas matchup and immediately you thought 90s NHL, and I'm just wondering if that rivalry is still a thing. I don't think it is, but my word, was it red hot in the 90s?
Well, no, those playoff
probably
series
will be
too that they had.
That's why. That's why it was so red hot. It'll probably be Philly, Tampa Bay. I'll be watching on Bally Sports Sun. Eric Thomas watching on YouTube on this Elks thing says the money situation in Edmonton is why I feel Coach Jones is the front runner for both the GM and head coach job. For sure. And it's just funny, as I said way back at the start, of the 12 candidates listed at 3downnation.com on the next GM in Edmonton, none of them were Brendan Taman, Eric Tillman, or Jim Barker. And all of those names I'd heard in connection to Ottawa. So the rumor mill continues to spin in the CFL. Moose, we'll see you back here for overtime. What do you say?
Sounds good. I can't wait.
Danny Austin joins us next from the Calgary Sun to preview the Western semifinal. As we're learning from our voters and viewers today, it is Canada's Game of the Week. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus Television Network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay. Apologies, but we're good to go. Lesson learned. Don't turn your audio interface on and off in the break. Anyways, we're back. We're ready to go. Yes. And I will refrain from more Edmonton Elks comments until later on in overtime, because we're bringing in Danny Austin now from the Calgary Sun, and I'm sure he's got some thoughts on the Edmonton Elks torching their organization yesterday with all those high-profile firings. Good morning, Danny. Good to see you. We obviously brought you on to talk about the Calgary Saskatchewan Western semifinal, because you said in your tweet this morning how fascinating the matchup is and all that. So can we please start there and talk about the actual games and what has you so excited about the Western semifinal on Sunday?
What has me excited is I have absolutely no idea how this is going to play out. I think these are two really, really evenly matched teams. We had that sort of insane, it would have been, I guess, 4 weeks, but 3 games in 4 weeks for the Stampeders, 3 straight for the Riders against the Stamps. And they were decided by a grand total of 6 points. I mean, anyone who says they know what's going to happen in this game is full of it, because I think these are two teams. It's whichever one comes in, gets hot, whichever one executes. But they're both very good football teams, in my opinion, who you look at, I mean, what's the Riders' winning streak coming into the playoffs? And then you look at the Stamps. They were 2-5 last time we talked, Rod. Then they went 6-1 down the stretch. So these are two very good teams who I think are capable of beating out anybody. And I've tweeted about it after a regular season that I generally think was pretty underwhelming from this league. I love every playoff matchup we've got, and it starts with this one between Calgary and Saskatchewan. I'm just fascinated. I can't wait.
Well, I'll tell you what, when I thought about what I was going to ask you today, and when I thought about this matchup, this is the first thing that popped into my head. You've been covering the Stamps for a long time. You travel with them, so you would know this as well as anybody. There is nothing about going into Mosaic Stadium that they fear. As a matter of fact, I might say it's the opposite. They relish going into Mosaic Stadium for games. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the Stampeders team has had a ton of success. Bo Levi Mitchell has had a ton of success in Saskatchewan. I mean, that's not a knock on the Riders. I want to be clear. It's my favorite road trip, and that stadium's a big part of it, and the fans are incredible, and they can certainly take teams out. But this is a Stampeders team that has had a lot of success there. I will be honest with you. I don't think that there's any intimidation factor in terms of the Riders and how the Stampeders perceive them or going in here. Stampeders have been better on the road this year, but this is one that they get up for. They know what the rivalry means. They love the rivalry, and honestly, I mean, they've generally gotten the better of the Riders in recent seasons. So that's why. I mean, Riders fans try to throw them off their game. That's what you're there for. That's the job. But no, I think that when we look at this season, I found that, look, the Stampeders won 2 of 3. The Riders won the 3rd one, and it sort of felt like that's all anybody talked about outside of Calgary was the fact that they lost the 3rd one, as if they didn't win the first 2. So I think the Stampeders are very confident. I think that the way that this season was built was luck. They had some things to sort out. There were some injuries early on, particularly to Bo Levi Mitchell. He didn't get a training camp, but the idea was get hot going into the playoffs, and they have done that. So they have reason to feel confident about the direction that they've gone and the way that they've built themselves up this season. And I don't think Mosaic Stadium has any impact on that.
You mentioned that the last time you were on, the Stamps were 2-5. They've clearly caught fire since. And what I heard from them at the time, the players and the coach, but also the analysts, is that they just need to play better. Talk about what's caused this team to catch fire and win 6 of 7 the rest of the way.
I mean, we all got to admit when we were wrong. I will say I kind of called out Sean Lemon specifically last time I was on your show. That defensive line, and that starts with Sean Lemon, I really do think he was the catalyst. I think you were getting good play from Mike Rose and Derek Wigan, but Sean Lemon sort of took it upon himself to start getting sacks, start hassling quarterbacks, and from there you saw guys like Stephen Banks, Isaac Adeyemi-Berglund, Fuller or Malade, they've all stood up. But it really did start with the D-line because, as you know, I mean, you give receivers enough time in this league, they're going to get open. So it was really hard on this elite group of defensive backs. They were giving up yards, but there wasn't that pressure on quarterbacks. And I think it started with Lemon, but the D-line as a whole really, really improved. And it's taken the offense time. And I still don't know if the offense is all the way where you want it to be right now from the Stampeders. I think that they've had flashes. I think they also, I mean, we saw in that 3rd game against the Riders, you know, I believe Bo Levi Mitchell threw 4 interceptions. That can't happen. You don't win football games if you do that. But the defense is so good. You look at Jameer Thurman, Darnell Sankey at linebacker. The addition of Trey Roberson just gives them options in the DB group. And then the D-line has really, the D-line's been as good as anybody coming down the stretch here. And the defense means that they're always going to have opportunities to win. So what they needed was sort of incremental improvements from the offense to start winning games, and that happened. But it started with the defense, and the defense remains the strength of this team. You'll beat them once on deep balls, you won't beat them twice, and that's what I like to see from a defense.
Danny, this is going way, way, way too fast. I feel like bringing you back later in the week and see what's changed by then and doing this again. But I got to end this, unfortunately, by asking you the Edmonton Elks situation and what you thought when you saw the news yesterday and where you see them going.
Yeah, I was not surprised. Ultimately, I think we saw there was something rotten at the core in that organization. And I think that if you spoke to players around the league, but some players in Edmonton as well, there was some anger. It wasn't going well. It wasn't going in a well. It wasn't going in a direction that I think you could fix with a small change. So this is good. We need, as a CFL community, we want the Elks to be successful. Edmonton's such an important part of this national puzzle that we have. It's an important piece. What I will say is I hope that the players there's someone from the organization reaching out to the players. I'm told that what didn't really happen yesterday. So there's a lot of confusion about the direction. Those players want to know if there's interest in keeping them around. But this had to happen, though. And I think Wally Bono is the perfect guy. I can tell you, I don't want to talk too much about, Mark Killam as an option, but I think you've got a great head coaching option here in Calgary in Mark Killam, who I think would do a great job, who has a great reputation for being a player's coach, who players love around the league, and that would really help in free agency. But there's options. But ultimately, it's unfortunate. I have no problem personally with any of the people there. I'm not trying to badmouth them, but it seemed like obviously change had to happen.
It is going to be fascinating to watch, along with the Ottawa GM situation, and of course, the games themselves. Danny, as always, I appreciate the time. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Thanks, buddy. Always good to chat. Talk soon.
Calgary Suns Stampeders beat writer Danny Austin joining us from Cowtown, previewing Canada's Game of the Week. Stick around, everybody. Overtime is next, and the always fun Taco Time viewer takeover. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, including Florida. Live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is, and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Your family needs a break. Delta Hotels Saskatoon welcomes you to our newly renovated hotel and water park. You deserve a vacation close to home. Enjoy world-class hospitality and upscale surroundings. Rediscover Saskatoon. You can enjoy time away from home right in your own city. The kids will love the water slide. Delta Hotels Saskatoon downtown. All the essentials and then some.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Safety is a primary pillar at Core Green. We have core certification. Our workers are following best practices in the industry for safety. We always want to make sure that our contractors, us here at the shop, and our customers can come to work and go home at the end of every day. Give Core Green Systems a call today.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
And Darren Moose Dupont as well. He is at Great Western Brewery in Saskatoon as part of our Hour 2 coverage in the Tim Hortons curling trials. Overtime is for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, where it is football week at the Palace. The Greek Freak wants you to know American Thanksgiving triple header. That's Thursday. Super Sunday, the CFL semifinals. Big screen, no need to ask to have the games put on at the Four Seasons. Plus 11 Sunday games. We love sports. Skol! And go Riders, go. News from this morning, Nathan Rourke, Johnny Augustine, and Davin Coleman were named the CFL top performers of the week for Week 16. The Western Hockey League announced that Everett Silvertips defenseman Ronan Seeley has been named the player of the week. The Carolina prospect had 7 points in 4 Silvertips games last week. They also announced that Red Deer Rebels goalie Chase Coward has been named WHL goalie of the week. He had his first career shutout in their 22 save shutout, and the Rebels 2-0 victory over the Hitmen. And Darren, this would not be news to you. Jennifer Jones and Tracy Fleury remain unbeaten at the curling trials in Saskatoon. Fleury shot 100% to dump Krista McCarville 9-2, and Jones took a 7-5 win over Casey Scheidegger. Also, Rachel Holman got her first win, 9-6 over Kelsey Rock. And as you've been promoting all day, Brad Jacobs meets Brad Gushu this afternoon in a battle of 3-0 teams. The sports update for dubnetwork.ca and for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars. Mentioned earlier, 8,217 for the draw last night. Are they overall happy with the crowds in Saskatoon? What are they saying about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's outstanding. I think it's awesome. You know, I was there earlier in the week and, yesterday, and it's packed. There's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of excitement. I think it's a fun atmosphere. It's a little more casual because the games are long, but it's fun. It's a little relaxed, but then you can celebrate all these great shots. I think there's a hint that something special is happening in Saskatoon, and that makes it really cool to be in the facility. So it's awesome. It's great. And this afternoon's going to have a big buzz because of the 2 undefeated teams going head-to-head.
For sure. Well, it is Taco Time viewer takeover, where everybody's jumping up and down saying, pick me, pick me. It is only Tuesday. I don't think we have any leaders in the clubhouse for this week's gift card. Ryan H. watching on YouTube says, can't wait for the CFL playoffs. I think Calgary eventually upsets Winnipeg in the Western Final. John Ohm says, Rod, will you be watching any CFL playoff games this Sunday? Yeah, I'll be watching them both. I'm sitting back looking at 6 hours of football watching. They're on ESPN channels this weekend on Sunday. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, I doubt we see Streveler in the CFL anytime soon, and not likely back to Winnipeg. That's from Jeff, the Stamps fan. I have no idea. I haven't seen any of the real coverage. The 3-down story didn't mention much about Streveler's potential future other than that he was let go in Arizona. And I'm not sure what the rules are. I seem to remember, of course, the rules do change quite a bit in the CFL from year to year, but I remember players being signed for playoff games. I'm not sure if that's still the thing or not. But frankly, for a CFL team right now, playoffs start this weekend. Your roster's set. Your quarterback room's set. Chris Streveler's not coming back to the CFL this month.
Probably not. Of course, he's going to exhaust the NFL options first, but he could. And, you know, if he comes back to remember, the shortest path back is to Winnipeg. There's familiarity there, but there's no Paul LaPolice who was able to use him in those other situations to have some success. But if he comes back in, it provides immediate impact, short yardage, bit of a wildcat, can mix things up. He's not coming in and starting a game. I think, you know, if this is the case that Zach Collaros can't play, it won't be Streveler starting, okay? He's just in there as an extra weapon if he comes back.
Last minute of play in the RP show. Bill Durrell writes in on the 902 line. He says, I wouldn't wish Chris Jones on any CFL team. Ryder reputation improved immensely when he left. And I would say that's a matter of opinion. I think Chris Jones will be a head coach and GM probably again one day in the CFL. I don't know if it'll be Edmonton or not, but that is one thing that people are going to want to be talking about for the weeks ahead. When do you think in the time? Yeah, we only got 30 seconds left here. 15. Do they have a new GM by January 1, Moose?
Yes.
Ooh. See you tomorrow. And for the viewers, see you at noon Eastern.
Who has more fun than us?
Let's go. Bingo. I like it. How about that? Awesome. Hot take. Approved.